Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this morning with Riley and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Riley's ability to understand and respond to her formal obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction that is needed, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Riley's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that tomorrow during your follow-up training session. Now Riley's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash, and the command is Riley heel. At this point, she has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with Fred, not forging ahead or lagging behind. And this exercise makes walking your dog a pleasure because she's matching pace with you, she's focused, she's looking up at you, and you're never dragged down the street ever again in your life. When you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she's going to be sitting nicely and waiting for her next command. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because this is stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. The long sit-stay, when you're practicing at home, and you should practice indoors as well as outdoors, is for 1 minute, working all the way up to 3 minutes, and this helps to develop her self-control and focus. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her so that he ends up back to where they started, back at heel position. She gets a pat for praise, and they take off heeling again. So everything is about her having self-control, enjoying the training process, and you can see that she is. Her tail is up, she's perky, she's happy, she's paying attention to her trainer, and that's what it's all about. She's so cute. Fred's going to leave her in another sit-stay, and make sure that you lengthen out your stays. This video is for you to practice with at home. You can pause it, rewind it, whatever you need to do to study any particular exercise over and over. She must have had a bug or something because she was getting distracted. Now this time, instead of returning back to her, Fred will call her. This is the come on command. He praises her on the way in, and she comes right in front, and she sits and then goes back to heel. So that come command with her coming in and sitting right in front of you is so that she doesn't come and jump all over people. When you call her, it's come, and she sits right in front. And that saves, especially in the summertime, your legs from getting scratched up, your company from getting scratched up. It's all about her keeping 4 feet on the ground at all times. And Fred will demonstrate that come on command again, so he leaves her in the stay. You start out by doing all of these commands on leash first. Get her doing them extremely well for you on leash, and then we can move forward. Fred's going to call her again. You can hear he changes his tone of voice. He praises her on the way in. She comes right in and sits. Now the next exercises that we're going to be demonstrating for you are her downs, and I don't know what she's looking at, but we have some kamikaze squirrels back here that come down and just sit there and stare at the dog during the time that we're trying to video, which is always great. And a lot of motorcycles going by today, so for sure we're not distraction free. Now first of all, when you go to do your down, the dog should be seated first. Oh my goodness, that's awful. She should be seated first next to your left leg. Fred's going to use his left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. The long down stay when you're practicing at home, start out at about 2 minutes, but work, 5-10 seconds a day toward a 5-minute long down stay. When Fred returns back to her, he's going to walk all the way around her, returning all the way back to heel position, just like he did on the sit stay. And every time you get back to the shoulders, remember, if you step off and you don't tell her what you want her to do, she's going to get up and walk with you. So if you want her to stay, you have to say stay. She's doing really well with her automatic sits, and if she gets out of line, just keep an eye on Fred's left hand, and you will see that if needed, he gives her that little tug and release. Nothing brutal, just a reminder. He's going to demonstrate that down from a heel position one more time. Now on these downs, this is great to practice right in your living room. If you tend to make obedience training a big deal, you're not going to do it. So use these commands all day long. This time Fred will call her out of that down. And then back to heel. So now what we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a distance, which is a little bit harder because you're not right next to the dog. So you're going to have the dog sit and stay. Fred's going to walk out and turn and face her. He's going to use his right hand to give the command and give her the down from a distance. No. Now, she didn't go the first time, and you saw that Fred said no, down, and he got her to lay down. So that's as easy as it is. She's a really, really nice dog. She's been a pleasure to have here at school. We've enjoyed every minute of being with her. Practice, 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 and give us a report. And thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.